During World War II, the performance of strategic bombers on the battlefield was remarkable and played an irreplaceable role in the final victory of the Allies. However, during World War II, people were troubled by one thing, which was escorting long-range bombers, because the range of the bombers was too large, making it difficult for fighter jets to provide full-range escort. The most dangerous bombing phase often required the bombers to deal with it alone. After World War II, in order to solve the problem of escorting bombers, the McDonnell Aircraft Company developed the XF-88 long-range penetration fighter. The reason it is called a penetration fighter is because it needs to protect the bombers to break through the opponent's defensive circle and provide full-range escort as much as possible. Its function is similar to the P-51 Mustang fighter, but with an expanded range. In 1946, the U.S. Army Aviation Department made relevant requirements, and McDonnell Aircraft Company started research in April of the same year. On June 20, they obtained a production contract for 2 prototype aircraft. This aircraft had a significant impact on the later F-101 supersonic fighter. The initial design was a bit conservative, such as the lack of wing sweep, which made it unable to fly at high speeds. The first prototype flew in October 1948. The aircraft had a slender fuselage, 35 degrees wing sweep, tricycle landing gear, and was powered by 2 non-afterburning J-34-13 engines. The engines were installed in the lower part of the fuselage, with the air intake at the wing root and the exhaust at the rear of the fuselage. The rear of the fuselage folded upwards to avoid the high-temperature exhaust gas from the engines. A single engine could output 13.37 knots, and the slender fuselage could accommodate more fuel. The first prototype could carry 2,780 liters of fuel. The fighter had a single-seat cockpit with a bubble-style canopy that slid backwards, and the pilot had an ejection seat. The cockpit was pressurized. The space in the nose was small, and the plan was to install 6 M39 20mm cannons, although they were not actually installed on the first prototype. The first prototype was found to be underpowered during test flights. Its maximum speed reached 641 miles per hour, about 1032 kilometers, which was quite impressive compared to propeller-driven aircraft, but in an era that pursued supersonic speeds, such a speed was difficult to compete with enemy interceptors. To address this, the designer installed J-34-22 jet engines with afterburners on the second prototype. Later the first prototype also received the same modification. The second prototype was called XF-88A, and it first flew in April 1949. The more powerful engine did improve the flight performance, increasing the maximum speed to 706 miles per hour, 1,136 kilometers. However, the afterburner also caused faster fuel consumption, so the fuel capacity was increased to 3,160 liters. Due to changes in military thinking, the penetration fighter was abandoned in 1950, and the XF-88, like other competitors, had no further prospects. However, its first prototype was used as an experimental aircraft and was subsequently fitted with several different engines, including the Allison T-38 turboprop engine, and reached a speed of 0.9 Mach in level flight. The technology related to the XF-88 was not in vain, as the F-101 supersonic fighter was its direct successor, while the 2 prototype aircraft were scrapped in 1958. The XF-88A penetration fighter had an empty weight of 5,507 kilograms, a maximum takeoff weight of 10,478 kilograms, a length of about 16.5 meters, a height of 5.26 meters, a wingspan of about 12.1 meters, a maximum speed of 1,136 kilometers per hour at an altitude of 6,100 meters, a cruise speed of 848 kilometers per hour, a maximum altitude of 12,000 meters, and a maximum range of about 2,800 kilometers.